notion of the Sales Navigator is not to replace email, not to replace CRM, the systems of communication or the systems of record, but to complement them and really be a must-have integrated piece as part of that. So last year, we spent a lot of work building those hooks. We went deep into our integrations with CRM. So we now have something called Admin Sync, which lets an administrator authenticate their CRM, Salesforce, or Dynamics instance to Sales Navigator and keep those two systems in sync. And it works in a few ways. So one is that once that sync is done, first, all of your the accounts and contacts associated with open opportunities that your AEs, your account execs are working, automatically get saved to Sales Navigator on a daily basis, so they don't have to manually do anything there. We then also try to match everything that we see in the CRM, every person record and a company record, to a LinkedIn identity where we can, and we've gotten to a pretty high match rate on that. So when you're in Sales Navigator, you'll see a little icon there that says in your CRM. And you can now actually filter your searches. So you can say, I want to look for a specific person or a specific type of company and call out as one of those search filters, limit it to things that are either in my CRM or not in my CRM or both. Finally, we also started to write activities back to CRM, which was a brand new thing for us at LinkedIn. So when you're composing an email or composing a message, whether you're taking a note or you're actually placing a phone call from the Sales Navigator mobile app, all those activities can be logged back to CRM with a single mouse click. We also started our integrations into email systems, did a Gmail integration that is actually replaced, and we're now going to keep improving it, our previous Reportive acquisition. And so anybody on Sales Navigator has this free sidebar so that when they're in your inbox, you can mouse over any email and automatically see what the Sales Navigator information is for that person or that company. A couple other highlights, we had a mobile discovery feature. So we know that people don't always want to go searching for stuff. They want to have stuff brought to them. And so our product manager for this calls it Tinder for leads. And so the idea is that every day you get 5 new companies, 5 new people based on your preferences, and you can swipe right, swipe left, and add those to your Sales Navigator account. We also did a couple more things. We also completely redesigned the in-mail experience, because the in-mail experience, we added things like attachments. We added the notion of these kind of warm intros, these icebreakers. These are things you might want to use to say you have somebody in common, or you actually have, mention an article that somebody has written when you're composing an in-mail. And then we also just recently launched something called in-mail reminders. So when you send an email, if you haven't gotten a response in a few days, we can automatically prompt you to go send a reminder and increase your conversion rate. Well, LinkedIn has done a lot with machine learning and AI for a long time, but it's really under the hood. So we actually use a lot of machine learning behind the scenes in looking at who you've looked at before, who you're connected to, a lot of these signals to try to say, here's recommended leads. So when we look at things and make recommendations to Sales Navigator, for example, about here is recommended leads or recommended companies, that's all based on machine learning that we've done. And then beyond that, we use the phrase here a lot, NBA, which doesn't stand for National Basketball Association, it stands for Next Best Action. Because at the end of the day, what we'd like to make Sales Navigator as a system of engagement provide sales reps and sales managers is that next best action. What should I go do next? And I think we have a great opportunity to recommend that. The term social selling to me just means good selling. It's really about a handcrafted message versus a spray and pray, message. It's really about coming into calls and meetings with knowledge and understanding of the people that you're going to meet with, rather than asking a lot of questions up front that you could have already found out through tools like LinkedIn, Sales Navigator. And it's really about building a partnership of trust versus just selling you a widget and moving on to my next deal. When we redesigned InMail, we did it because we found that your average B2B sales campaign has about if you're lucky, maybe a 3% response rate, 3% click-through rate. The average Sales Navigator in-mail response rate was 5 times that, 15%. But our top 10% of our in-mailers were getting 10 times the B2B campaign. They're getting a 30% plus response rate on their messages. And that was because they were treating it more like this handcrafted note than a spam blast. And so we redesigned InMail to have these kind of things to help guide you to create these higher quality InMail messages and get better responses. We've also done a lot of research into the difference between warm intro paths, which we make very powerful and easy through our Team Link feature. And Team Link allows you to, first of all, combine all of the LinkedIn networks of everybody in your company on the same Sales Navigator contract. But we've taken that 2 steps further in the last 12 months. We did something called Team Link Groups, which lets you combine Team Link bundles of multiple companies together. So if you are a company that's acquired a bunch of companies, you can now keep those Sales Navigator contracts managed separately, but combine those networks into one big pool. And then in our Enterprise Edition earlier this year, we launched something called Team Link Extend. And Team Link Extend gives you 1,000 Team Link invitations to email out for free to anyone. Could be your board of directors, could be your management team, could be partners. And those networks then get combined into this big Team Link pool. And the reason why that's so important, Team Link is our #1 form of marketing leads here at LinkedIn. And for companies who use Team Link, we found that people are 5 times more likely to respond to a warm intro request through somebody they know than cold outreach. It just works. And finally, I'd say that why social selling is everybody's doing it. Forbes just came out with something called the Forbes Cloud 100, and 80 of those top companies are using our Sales Navigator customers, heavy Sales Navigator customers, and use it to power their B2B selling efforts.